So the pictures you're looking at, the guy epitomises the term football hard man. Older generations will talk about Billy Bremner, Tommy Smith for Liverpool. Yeah, there was more back in that day, the 60s and the 70s. You could obviously get away with a lot more than charging goalkeepers and, your Jack Charltons and, well, to be honest, Leeds had a team full of hard men, didn't they? But, your Dave Mackays and all that kind of thing. But, modern terms, modern days, if you like, your Mick Harfords, Vinnie Jones. But, a man who stands alone is, Billy Whitehurst, a big 6 foot, grizzly, horrible centre forward. Rio Ferdinand, as good as he was, said my hardest opponent ever was John Hartson. And Billy Whitehurst was your same as your John Hartson. If you marked him for 90 minutes, you were coming out with bruises and, you were faces of elbows and all this kind of thing. Yeah, he must have been a right handful. So I did a football book a couple of years back, Alan Thompson, and I asked him about Billy Whitehurst because Billy Whitehurst, he's a proud Yorkshireman, played for Hull, Sheffield United, but he had a little stint at Newcastle, and he was. What's so different about him? What's so special? There's a story I could probably go into a very famous altercation with a Yorkshire heavyweight boxer called Neil Malpass, who Paul Sykes actually fought a couple of times. But I like Neil, and it's none of my business. But it's kind of widely known, that there was a bit of a clash. Billy Whitehurst actually had a couple of on the cobble fights as well. He was, I'm not talking about just on the football pitch. Graham Souness, in my opinion, the greatest ever British footballer, 3 European Cups, could pass, could tackle a brick wall. But he was a hard man on a football pitch, where Billy Whitehurst was just everything. Do you know what I mean? So over the last couple of years, I've got to know a lot of footballers, various interviews I've done. And I've always kind of, as I said, I think I described Billy Whitehurst a couple of years back. I actually reached out to him a couple of years back. He's got a book anyway, but I would have dropped everything to do. And I kind of used the term, I basically described him as the Paul Sykes of football. He was a handful, and I mean a handful, and hell of a character. As I said, a big, horrible, rough centre forward who must have just give defenders nightmares. And they just do not come. As I said, I've spoke to so many footballers over the years, and I've always asked them that question: who was the toughest player you ever came against? And without doubt, if they knew Billy Whitehurst or they'd met him once, it was always him. As I said, I've learned. Alan Thompson told me a couple of stories, and what a character. There's not much on him. There's not a great deal on. There seems to be a little bit more now. Matt Legg done a really insightful video the other day. I like Matt's stuff. He does his research. But yeah, Billy Whitehurst, bit of a cult following as well. Wasn't the goal ratio of his career wasn't the best, but he was a proper team player. He was more like, he did a lot of stuff off the ball as well, and as I said, it must have just been a horrible, horrible predicament to be in to mark him. to be in the box and him standing on your feet, and he was just the ultimate soccer hard man. I don't even know why I said the word soccer there. That's an American name, isn't it? But your Sheffield United fans, your Hull City fans, they all absolutely love him. And apparently he's a really, really nice guy as well, down to earth, and will quite often have a pint with someone. But yeah, I would have absolutely dropped everything to do it. I did speak to his good mate a couple of years back, Dean Windass, and he's done a book anyway, sadly. But it would have been, and I probably will have to go and buy it. But it would have been, as I said, football. You think how actually hard can they be? They're running about kicking a ball for 90 minutes, and a lot of them these days, it's embarrassing. But he was, as I said, he was something special, and he was ultimately a proper team player. You see the players who just in it to score a goal. Bernie Slaven was one who, was happy to sit on the goal, and Chris Boyd was another one who, if they didn't turn up, you were down to 10 men, where a lot of Billy Whitehurst's game was about assists and getting flick-ons and all this, and proper character, proper hard man, and absolutely fascinating character to study, and I always like to learn a little bit more about Billy Whitehurst, Yorkshire's finest, and without a shadow of a doubt, the hardest footballer to ever grace the game of football.